Hey guys and girls, my Ram truck is carrying me across the Red River right now, the Red River that separates Oklahoma and Texas. There's the river right up there right now, and it's red. It certainly is red. And heading down to Gainesville, Texas, and taking Benelli to university. That's right, taking Benelli to university. Benelli is going to college. She's going to Texas Duck Dog University. I added the university part. It's just Texas Duck Dogs. Texas Duck Dog is a five generation training facility run by Mr. Wayne Cashin. Wade is a friend of Hank Huff, who has the Kingdom Dogs, the famous Kingdom Dogs. Hank goes to churches all around the United States and with his labs, and he's just got the most incredibly trained labs, and he preaches the gospel using his labs and making parallels that are unbelievable. We've had him over at our church. Hank has been at my house and fished with me. He's become a great friend over the years. And Hank gave me Daisy several years ago, many years ago. And Daisy lived to be over 11 years old and died. And we had one litter of pups with her. It was Beamer was in that litter. We kept that little girl. She was a tiny little girl. We kept Beamer, and Beamer ended up being an incredibly great dog, incredibly great. And as Chris's mama would say, Beamer is a good dog. And she sure was. And we lost Beamer back late November, early December. A tremendously heartbreaking story. Beamer went out to die, but waited on me to go find her before she died. And I spent the last 20 minutes sitting in the cold in the yard, holding Beamer in my lap, in her last 20 minutes here on Earth. And so my buddy Steve Johnson from Tennessee, the guy that developed Mothwing Camo and the triple shot shotgun, which is his latest success story, triple shot shotgun. Steve has had a litter of pups. He's been into duck dogs for a long time, and he's had a litter of pups, and he called me, and we were going over to Ball Knob, Arkansas to hunt with some friends over there, duck hunt. So really the only second hunt I've been on since Chris had her stroke. Went pheasant and quail hunting and opening 2 days of pheasant season here in Oklahoma with Josh Jones and some fireman buddies of ours from up in Broken Arrow, Oklahoma. Had a great hunt, and then my next hunt was the end of December, and that is where I got Benelli. Benelli was born November 7th, and so she's 5 months old. And I called Hank and talked to him about training Benelli, and of course Hank he kind of hurt his feelings. He said, "You got a dog without calling me. You got a lab without calling me," and I knew it would. Hank is such a great friend, and he has such incredibly great lineage of dogs. If you are lucky enough to get a Kingdom dog, it's just going to be the best lab you've ever seen. And anyway, he was a little hurt, feelings hurt, but nonetheless, he said, I've got some 3 or 4 good trainers. I know lots of good trainers, and he suggested Wade Cashin. Cashin was a preacher for 12 years, and he's now full-time training dogs down here at Texas Duck Dog, and what Hank said, he's absolutely incredible. I visited with him on the phone for about 30 minutes. We'll be visiting with him up here in just a little while. We got only about 13 more miles to go until we get to his place. Just across the line, so he's not but about an hour and a half from our ranch, so that's good. I can come down and kind of visit Benelli a little bit over the next 3 or 4 months and let her know I still love her. I don't know what she's going to thank me taking her over here and leaving her without anybody that knows it, but she'll fall in love with Wade real quickly, and we'll see what happens. She's got a little demon in her, we know that, but she is just born to retrieve. She's got retrieving in her blood. She will absolutely retrieve and retrieve and retrieve. She brings me stuff all the time in her mouth and puts it in my hand so I can throw. She loves to retrieve. And when we get her back, she won't be a puppy. She's 5 months old. She's grown out of a lot of the puppy stuff already, and she'll be a mature adult dog when we finally get her back. But it's going to be really great. I can't have her jumping up on people, particularly Chris, who'll be walking soon, and maybe walking by the time we get Benelli back. And I can't take a chance of her jumping up on Chris and making Chris lose her balance and having her fall. And she doesn't need to be jumping up on anybody, but she just got so much energy, so much go-tos, that she should make a really good dog. We'll find out. Wade will be able to evaluate her and know pretty quickly within a couple weeks probably whether she's going to make a great dog or not, or she's just going to make a pet. I don't hunt nearly as much as I used to. I've only hunted twice since Chris had her stroke, But I'm hoping to do a little bit more hunting this year, dove hunting, turkey hunting, quail hunting, pheasant hunting, and we use labs on all of those land animals as well as duck. I'm not really into a big duck hunter, but probably will duck hunt a little bit with my buddies over at Bald Knob this coming winter. But anyway, we're on our way to Texas Duck Dog University. I added the university part. They got a website, by the way, texasduckdog.com. And he's got tips on there, tells you all about their operation, all about them, and some tips on there of how you can do some stuff to train your own dog as well. So check them out, texasduckdog.com. Okay, we should be getting really close here to our exit. Wade said it was Hockley Creek Road. His place is on Hockley Creek. It says here I'm like 11 miles from it, but I see a Hockley Creek Road right here, so I'm going to take it. Yeah, I'm going to take it. Oh yeah, mine's, well, I don't know if mine's getting off on Hockley Creek Road or not, but I'm fixing to get off on Hockley Creek Road, that's for sure. There's a train coming. You hear that train whistle? A buddy of mine from West Virginia I was fishing with one time told me that when they hear that sound in West Virginia, people say there's rain coming. I told him, I said, what are you talking about, rain coming? What do you mean anyway, rain coming? He said, well, that's just what they say when we hear that sound. They say, oh, there's rain coming. I said, well, that's crazy. Around here, people say it's a train coming. He said, oh, a train. Well, maybe that's what they were saying. He said, that'd make a lot more sense, wouldn't it? I said, yeah, it would. West Virginia. Yeah, buddy. Yeah, buddy. Texas Duck Dog. Retriever training, obedience training, texasduckdogs.com. Y'all check that out. I haven't had a chance to look at it yet, but I'm anxious to. Texas Duck Dogs. Ooh, that looks like Daisy right there. Fantastic. Okay. Have to get out and open this gate. Don't see any opener on it, so this is that gate's got a lock on it. Huh. I bet I'm supposed to go in that other gate back there because that gate's got a lock on it. Let me go out and check. Okay, I'm actually behind Wade. We're going to take a little quick tour of the property. He's in that Ranger up there. And you can see right here, that's some of his kennels. And I saw some dogs on the other side, some black ones there. You can see his trailers there where he trained them. Got inside kennels. Look at those labs. Looky there, you have a lot of buddies over here. Another gooseneck dog trailer there. We can take a lot of dogs. I'm gonna follow him. The first thing I noticed was that big, beautiful lake right there. I saw that I pulled up to that other gate right over there, and I could see that lake. You can't see that lake from the county road, which is probably pretty good because if very many people knew it was there, it might be kind of hard to keep people from slipping in there and bass fishing. He's got it really designed. You can see he designed that as a fisherman. No doubt about that. I don't know if Wade did that or somebody before he had this property. I don't know how long he's had the property, but you can see he's put a lot of islands out there, levees, points. You just really, you can walk out on that one levee there. It looks like that's one you can walk out on. It's not separated from the land. That way you can walk way out there and fish. You could actually walk around that lake and fish everywhere, it looks like. So that is absolutely incredible. We're up on top of a hill right now. I know we got a lot of wind noise in here. I don't have a microphone on. We're up on top of the hill, and you can see all the water. It's got 9 ponds. They're built perfectly how they all flow into each other. Benelli's afraid she's going to get left behind. Benelli, you're going to love it here. You're going to love it here, buddy. You go here and watch the dogs work. I know she had a lot of pheasants back there, too. I guess you're working a lot on pheasants.
We do. We have pheasants and ducks in our bird pens and pigeons, and we try to get the dogs prepared for whatever they'll see out in the field.
Yeah. I hunt them more on pheasant, quail, and dove, and I do duck. But I'm trying to duck hunt a little bit more, but I just don't get to do it too much. But But I love to chase them quail and pheasant and all
Absolutely.
that kind of stuff. So
Yes, sir.
they're tremendous. They'll actually, if they're with bird dogs, they'll actually learn to point.
Yes,
I've had labs point, and you can train them to point. We never have done that, but
The American Pointing
they-
Lab
they-
Association
yeah,
is a real
yeah,
thing, and
yeah.
there's actually a genetic strand of labs that point
That point,
regularly and
yeah.
routinely, and
Yeah.
the APL.
Well, I've never ever worried about one pointing, but they just watch the other dogs and they smell them and they get up there close.
Oh,
It's
yeah.
usually a hen when she's pointing at you,
That's
'cause they
right.
hold better.
That's right.
Benelli, you gonna like it here for a while, girl?
Oh, yeah, you will. Yeah, you will.
She loves everybody and everything.
That's good. That's
Other
the way you want
dogs,
'em.
deer, everything.
That's what makes labs great.
It is. Okay, guys and girls, we run out of daylight there at Texas Duck Dog, and but Benelli is in great hands, I believe. It sure was sad to leave that little puppy, and she just looked at me and those big eyes, and she come over and stuck her head out through the wire, kind of hog wire type stuff, and she stuck her head through there and her feet, and just looking at me, but it's sad, but it always is. But she won't forget me. They don't do that, and but hopefully maybe in 2 or 3 weeks I'll be able to get back over and visit her. I'll try to visit her about once a month. We're probably looking at 3 or 4 months on this. If you'll go to texasduckdog.com, and if you've got dogs, he has training tips on there as well. It'll kind of tell you what they're going to be doing there, and we're not training her for field trial or anything. She's going to be trained as manners and all that, which she certainly needs some manners, doesn't she? And she will be trained, as a hunting dog, with pheasants and quail and duck and dove and things like that. And so she'll just be a hunting dog. She should have good manners. She's going to mature a lot. Once a dog is a year old, it's about 6 or 7 years old. So they change a lot just every single month. She's matured a lot already, still has a lot of puppy in her. But she's going to change a lot. I'm going to visit her as much as I can. They're only about an hour and a half away. Check them out, texasduckdog.com. We'll be doing some videos every time I go over there, I'm sure. It's windy. I need to have the microphone on. Apologize for all that. Camera switched over to slow-mo when I didn't know it, so we really lost a lot of good stuff. But we'll feel some music in there, just kind of make it a little entertaining. And it's going to be great, though. Benelli in college. Guys and girls, remember, I sure do love you.